Today, we are talking about deviled eggs. So what exactly even is a deviled egg for the uninitiated, if anyone is still uninitiated?
It's a boiled egg where you take the yolks, mix it with a bunch of ingredients.
A little bit of mayo or aioli, depending on if you want to make
How
your mayonnaise
fancy
or
you
not.
want to be.
And yeah, it's you know, paprika is a key ingredient, I think, in all deviled eggs. People usually put some kind of pickling agent, whether it's a vinegar or a Tabasco or a caper or a pickle. You need something sharp kind of to balance out the fattiness of the egg.
And it gets piped into the shell of the white and served as little bite-sized goodness.
What other twists can you put on the deviled egg?
There's lots of different things that you can do with the deviled egg. So, I mean, it depends how fancy you want to get. Maybe you'll top it with some smoked salmon and some fresh chives, or maybe even like a white anchovy would be really nice.
And for people who say, like, I have this tradition, like, my family, it's like, oh, there has to be pickle relish, or there has to be this thing. Is it okay to shake up tradition?
I think that people, it depends on your diner. If the diner has an open mind, then absolutely. So what we're going to do today is we're going to stick to the basics, and I'm going to show you guys something classical, something that I learned, something that my grandmother would have cooked 50 years ago, and then Janine might kick it up a little notch and show you something different.
Yeah, so we're going to have the true Southern, and then we'll just call yours the non-Southern version. Great, so will you show us the steps to both?
Absolutely, let's get going.
All right.
So now we're in the kitchen at Root and Bone. We're going to show a classic deviled egg. Start with a good egg. We're just going to drop them into our pot of boiling water. I like to get the water boiling first and drop them in. So two things that I do whenever I boil my eggs, I put just a touch of vinegar and some salt. And what that'll do is that'll break down the structure of the actual eggshell. It'll make it a little bit easier to peel. So after 10 minutes, your eggs should be done. So we're going to take these out and we're going to run over the sink and we are going to peel them. So what we'll usually do is take some water. Cool water is fine. So I like to peel these while they're still warm. So if you wait until it gets cold, the shell will stick back to the white of the egg. So we're going to peel them now while they're still warm. So we've peeled our eggs. They've cooled. I'm just going to take a little slice to them now, right down the middle. Next step is we're going to remove all of our yolk, just like so. So we removed our egg yolks, and there's a lot of different techniques to how to smash it up. You could just simply use the back of a fork. You could put it in a blender. I have a ricer here. We're just going to throw our yolks in like so and push it through. So this is a step that a lot of people go in and out of the box, but traditionally you'll see some kind of a vinegar. So you can either take the pickle and chop it up, or for acid you could just use the pickle juice, or some people go with capers. So we're going to do a little bit of all of these right now. A little mustard, about a tablespoon or so, and we're going to put a fair amount of mayonnaise in this. So for a dozen eggs, use about a cup of mayonnaise, give or take, depending on how moist you want it. But the mayo is very important. That's what's going to give moisture to your deviled egg. So we've got some different herbs here. We've got a little bit of fresh chive, some fresh dill, and we're going to spice this one up with a little bit of Tabasco. And we're just going to stir all this in. And again, you could do this in a food processor or a blender if you like, but we're going traditional. So we're going to put this in a piping bag. You don't have to have a piping bag. You could use a leftover Ziploc bag. So we've loaded in our piping bag. I just give it a little twist. And then we're just going to cut the tip of the bag. And one thing you can do, a little trick, is just take a sliver of the back of your egg so it can rest evenly. And we're just going to pipe just about a tablespoon in each one. And now you can top it with whatever you like. We've got a little bit of fresh dill here. And I've got some mustard seeds. And last but not least, something you'll traditionally see in the South, a little pinch of paprika. So there you have it, traditional deviled egg. So we're going to get Chef Janine in here to show us the different technique and a little kick on this.
Now you've seen Jeff's traditional deviled egg, I'm going to take you to Root and Bone and do our Root and Bone Drunken deviled eggs. So I'm going to start with making a pickled beet. So first of all, we're going to roast our beets. So I'm going to take a golden beet, I've just scrubbed it nicely. I'm going to wrap it in aluminum foil with just a little bit of olive oil. And we're going to roast that at about 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. And then we're actually going to take the roasted beet. This one is one I prepared earlier. And we're going to peel it and we're going to slice it into nice little wedges. All right, so we're going to make a basic pickling liquid which we're gonna take red wine vinegar, about 2 cups of that, about 2 cups of the water as well, and then just basically some sugar, salt, and I've cut up some shallots here, which are gonna give the pickling liquid some nice flavor. We're gonna take these beets, we're gonna add it into the pickling liquid, and then I'm just gonna put that on the heat until it simmers. That should take about 15 minutes. Okay, so after 15 minutes, we have this beautiful, bright purple pickled beet liquid that we're gonna now take our boiled eggs, and we're basically just gonna stain them like you used to do when you were a kid. Leave them there for about 10 minutes. They're gonna have this perfect purple color on the outside. You should definitely wait until the liquid cools down until you add the eggs, because you don't wanna continue to cook the boiled eggs. So after about 10 minutes of these eggs being in this beet pickle liquid, they come out, they're nice and pink, and we're just gonna now take them. So I'm gonna take the ends off like this. That's gonna help stabilize them still. And I'm gonna cut them down the center this way. So now that I've showed you how we're gonna pickle the eggs, we need something to top them. We're gonna make our own root chips. I have here some red potatoes. I have a golden beet, which I've actually cut up, some parsnips. When you're slicing your root vegetables, you wanna make sure that they're nice and thin. And I'm just gonna run it down the mandolin here. So I've set my fryer to 350 degrees. And we're just gonna pop these in for about 30 seconds. All right, so now that we have our beautiful little root chips, I'm gonna take some of them. I have sunchokes here, I have some carrots, and with the back of my hand, I'm just gonna crunch them a little bit, because we're gonna use these to sprinkle on the top of the deviled egg. We have this beautiful mix that we've made. I've actually taken a mixture just like Jeff's, and I've put it into the blender, and it's gonna come out really nice and smooth. I'm gonna pipe it into the bottom of the egg white, and then I'm just gonna give it a little sprinkle of these crunchy root chips. And then we have these beautiful little sunflower sprouts, just for color. So here we have my spruced up drunken deviled eggs that we serve here at Root & Bone. And thank you for coming and joining us on our deviled egg adventure.